of this Molten Strike, they go ranging from the budget version, which is around 3.5 million, to hardcore viable, which is around 64.5 million, to 1 billion damage. So I reckon it is the league best all-rounder. Hello and welcome to this video. All these builds can complete the Atlas. Some are league starters and some are entire league builds. Now, as you can see, there's a few different ones, so let's get into it, with the first one being the Gorilla build. Now, I did make a video on this as well, but let's go through it. It is not an easy one to league start because it does require some things to get going, but you can just add these when you get the chance. It obviously takes transfigure gems, so you'll have to transition into it. And to make this build, it does work off the enemies kill 35% chance to explode, 10th of their max fizz damage, health as fizz damage. Now you can play this build and not add in all these like Watcher's Eyes, Grand Spectrums, and all that. It is pretty much a trade league build. There is some hardcore and solo self-found builds. Elementalist, as you can see, because it has always can ignite, which these gems work off. Now we look at the skills. Our main lot, obviously it's got more, you just switch them out when you got the awakened. Now if we take off the awakened gems and put in the normal, it's still doing 11 mil. Now all these gems you can get fairly easily. The awakened, obviously, if you're on trade, you wait and you buy, or you get it once you get to a certain point and they start dropping off, like say the Maven or something, or you'd use a beast mechanic, where these you can pick and choose depending on how you like with the change. They do still work, they just don't add as good as stuff. So as you can see, the armor, we only got 5,000 armor. So if you click off this, we go down to 2.5, so it does double our armor. And all this stuff, it works better with the enlightened, and obviously you need to drop something if you don't have an enlightened. But pretty much it's your choice. I would choose the precision over determination if you're going to drop one, just because it does help with the damage a lot. This is the second most important part of this build, the brand, and having this will enable the build. So don't forget this part. If you're going to just pick and mix some of it, pick this and pick the main part. The other bit you can play with, but other than that, don't play with it, sort of thing. Like, you got to have this. So I'll let you go through it, because if I remember, I'll put it in the description. If not, I'm sure I'll be reminded of it. Next, we have Ball Lightning. Now, this Ball Lightning obviously is a Templar. Hierophant. I know I probably butchered that. We do 7 mil damage. Skills we're using. We have the Ball Lightning down here. Archmage, crit damage. Obviously the Spell Echo we can swap out for a normal one. I'll just highlight it. We lose, well, we'll just click off. We lose like 3 mil damage without the extra Spell Echo. Give or take. So obviously it still doesn't good enough damage. Slow projectiles, inspiration, sigil power, frost blink, that can, in my opinion, can be one. Obviously it just pops up as normal level 20. Elemental weakness with the brand, conductivity, sniper's mark. So pretty much more or less normal if you looked at a ball lightning before. All the bolts in range gives you 80 mil. Let's keep it realistic with 7 mil. We use Sandstorm Visage, Cloak of Defiance, Anathema, a Watcher's Eye, and a Timeless Jewel. Obviously, the jewels can come last, and we should do enough damage. It's got a couple of tattoos that just add lightning damage. It's just bonus, but with the new league, tattoos and stuff should come with a shipment, so tattoos should be more available. So don't be too scared or worried or anything about the tattoos. We should be able to get these tattoos. And the gems and stuff, you should be able to get last. Obviously, if you come in some riches early, do get them. Like the Timeless Jewel and the Watcher's Eye. Keep an eye on them, because sometimes you can pick them up quite cheap early on, because people don't have the money to spend a lot on it, so people have to sell it for relatively cheap compared to later. So this build should be able to just get going, and you add to it, add to it, add to it. And pretty much you could just play this for the league, or this could be your currency builder. You're playing it, you're not sure what the next build is, and you just keep building that currency until you decide. Now, we have Kriparian's Lacerate of Hemorrhage. This, as you can see, has an infinite hit pool. In theory, you should only die from a one shot because of one certain thing. The recover 5% life on block. That keeps you alive because it's a block based, that's damage reduction, not block. 90% chance we block, so 10% of the time you don't block. If it's big enough, you'll die, but the health pool's generally good enough that you'll survive, unless it's a shot that killed pretty much anyone. The 10% time, it's 90% time you block, you get 5% of 7,821 back as life. And then we're leeching and everything. It is a blood magic build. So in case you don't play blood magic, it is a blood magic build. So we have a look. We have, you can swap out the Molten Strike and stuff as you wish. Fortify, Cruelty, Volatility, Brutality, Fillet damage. Fillet. Melee physical damage with a Lacerate of Hemorrhage. Now, this is obviously your pride and your movement. Some of your cries and urgent orders, vulnerability to couple more damage. More than likely, this is swap and mix depending on where you put it. But more than likely, you will have a relatively easy time gearing this because you got all reds there, all but one, all red, pretty much all red. So as you can see, gearing shouldn't be that difficult on your sockets. Now the gear, relatively easy to get. These are pretty much crafting items, essence items, or you can generally find items. Plus, you add in all the new stuff with the league, you'll probably be able to get some of these items in a better state than just drops. But as you can see, we come down here, that's fairly easy to, it's fairly cheap to buy off trade, but that's only unique on the build, and you can also go the column sign ring. And the flask, you just go whatever you want. And the jewels are the all that. So nothing over the top, nothing crazy. This build does 4.4 million. You can play this build pretty much entire league if you want, or you can play it, get all the stuff. You could even swap in for, because at the moment it's deal an extra % damage, but you can swap it over to Jagger Technique as well. And one thing of note is the bleed duration is almost 8 seconds. So you should get a high roll on your what are you doing, Earthquake? You should get a high roll on this numbers often. So you should be hitting almost the top tier damage every time. Now, the Marauder Righteous Fire. Something that's probably going to be highly popular league start. Now, we do have a modest and a... Okay. That's not working at the moment. We do have modest and an end game. So we'll just look at the modest. As you can see, it's pretty much what you expect from playing a... what are we playing? Righteous Fire. We got a couple of uniques and body armors. Now, this isn't the new body armors. They haven't added to POB that I know of, because if you have a look at the body armor, armor, Ancestral Plate and Glorious Plate. Unless I'm mistaken, these were already here because there was extra bases, so I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's not the new base names. One thing we could actually look at, the Energy Shield, yeah, Regala, not the Necromancer or whatever they're calling it. And you can see Marauder comes down, we're playing Chieftain. These are all up to the 3.25 stuff, so as you can see, the damage is 1.6 million. It's a little less than last league because of all the changes, but if we switch to endgame, and because it's not working we have to switch it all to endgame, we do 3.4 million if you have it the way this has it. You can change a few things around depending on how you like to play, but this will probably be one of the most popular builds that you play. And as you can see, got some Grand Spectrums in there now. And finally, probably arguably going to be the strongest build this league. It's going to be the tippity top, destroy everything type build if you have the currency to throw into it. This particular build is going to be a hardcore SSF type. I'll show another one which is more throw currency at it. Now we have a look at the tree. We're playing Marauder, obviously Juggernaut, and it goes like this. We have some spell and armor, 6k life, so we do have some survivability. Now we're using the trauma, momentum, fire, damage, pen and rage. These are the other stuff. Obviously this is going to be the thing that you got to get used to because you got to pop it down now. And the items are very low tier uniques or gear you can just generally find. And I also did a budget version as well on top of the build. Now the budget version, these, pretty sure I went through them all. These shouldn't have anything higher than a tier 3 modifier. So we're doing 3.4 damage with deliberately bad gear. And if we have a look at the mole, as you can see, tier 3s all the way across. This is all the way, this is the worst roll you can get for attribute requirements. Like, I didn't even go, well, you're probably going to get like tier 2 up here. So I left the dual slots in, but didn't put duals in there just so you're aware you can have those duals. It does have 93 spell suppression, and skill wise I swapped it to the normal Molten Strike. So this is actually with the other Molten Strike and budget gear. Now we swap over to the default. This is obviously Molten Strike is Zenith, and it's a little higher. So budget or hardcore SFS viable, it is still going to do a good chunk of damage. Now I will show you the crazy version. If we go, no, yeah, it's a Marauder. We look at Connor Convert, 1 mana left is his in-game tag, I believe. Now we have a look, and this version has like all the god tier stuff and everything. It has all the gems in, and we have 106 movement speed. I don't know why suppression is looking up, whatever. But yeah, if we have a look, that's 1,145,000,000 damage. So yeah, that's a lot of damage. So this Molten Strike, you can get versions of this Molten Strike that go ranging from the budget version, which is around 3.5 million, to hardcore viable, which is around 64.5 million, to 1 billion damage. So I reckon it is the league best all-rounder, in my opinion, Molten Strike. So what's your opinion on that and the other builds, and whether any of these three shouldn't really be in it? I would argue the Gorilla, but I just gotta add it because it is fun to play. It's just, yeah, do check it out. I have a video on it and all that, but it is the funnest little, almost meme-ish build. So I'll catch you next time, and let me know what you think and what you're starting. But until then, click all those buttons and donate under the video if you wish. That would be appreciated greatly. Goodbye.